Hey T-Squad, it's Kirsty. Today, we're stepping into one of the biggest celebrity downfalls in modern music history. A story that stretches across luxury penthouses, private jets, locked-door parties, secret phone recordings, and an empire built on influence, intimidation, and the belief that he'd never get caught. This is the full deep dive into Sean Diddy Combs, the charges, the verdict, the shady behavior, the whispers behind the scenes, and the brand new investigation that just cracked open. This is long, layered, and honestly, darker than the headlines ever showed. So get comfy, because we're going full PI mode today. For decades, Diddy was hip-hop royalty, the man who shaped the sound of entire eras. From bad boy records to fashion, alcohol brands, television, and private investment deals, he built a reputation as untouchable. But power also creates shadows. And behind the fame, there were rumors that refused to die. Late-night whispers about parties nobody wanted to talk about. A culture of controlling behavior. People suddenly switching careers, moving cities, or disappearing from the industry altogether after working with him. For years, it all stayed in the dark. Until the allegations finally started stacking high enough that federal agencies stepped. When federal agents raided his homes in Los Angeles, Miami, and New York, it shook the industry. The public didn't see everything that was seized. But insiders said the list was long. Hard drives, security footage, personal devices, ledgers, travel logs, contact lists, and entertainment budgets that didn't match reality. Investigators were looking for patterns: who was flown in, where they went, who booked hotels, who transported people, and who arranged payments. And trust me, they found enough to build a federal case. Here's where things get interesting, because the headlines made it sound like the trial was about trafficking. But the charges that stuck were different. Diddy was found guilty of 2 federal counts of transporting individuals for prostitution under the Mann Act. Not trafficking, not racketeering, not forced labor. He was acquitted of those. But the transportation charges were still serious. They required proof that he organized travel, knew exactly why the travel was happening, facilitated it for sexual activity, and benefited from it. Each count carries heavy penalties because the law doesn't play about crossing state lines. The jury found him guilty on both. He was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison, fined a huge sum, and hit with 5 years of supervised release after he gets out. That's not a slap on the wrist, that's years. And it's only the beginning of his problems. Because every conviction becomes a domino. Doors close. Deals are canceled. Brands panic. Partners distance themselves. And the music industry, the one he dominated, suddenly wants nothing to do with him. Prosecutors told the court that Diddy wasn't just living a flashy lifestyle, he had an entire system behind him. They argued that he flew people cross-country, booked rooms, provided money, substances, or pressure, used power to keep people quiet, controlled relationships, operated in patterns. They described it like an ecosystem that benefited him and protected him. They said his business empire wasn't just music, it was influence, manipulation, and control. Diddy's legal team tried something unusual. They didn't deny that these encounters happened. They didn't deny travel. They didn't deny the relationships. They tried to argue intent. They said the encounters were consensual. They said the trips were personal, not part of a business scheme. They said the government was twisting his private life into a crime. At one point, they even suggested what happened was commercial voyeurism, not prostitution. Yes, that's really the argument they tried. The jury wasn't convinced. And that's why the transportation charges stuck even when the bigger ones didn't. Here's where the story turns again. Just when people thought the verdict was the end, another investigation opened. A male music producer and publicist came forward with allegations from a photo shoot involving clothing once owned by Biggie, and a later encounter where he says he was assaulted after being called a snitch. He claims Diddy exposed himself during the shoot and demanded a sexual act. He claims that in another incident he was attacked and humiliated by multiple men. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is actively investigating. The case is new. It's fresh. And it's not connected to the federal trial, which means it's a new legal threat. If investigators find credibility or evidence, this could turn into new charges. This isn't just one scandal. This is an empire collapsing in real time. His home's raided. His image destroyed. His companies distancing themselves. Lawsuits stacking. New accusers stepping forward. Hollywood stepping back. The entire industry reevaluating how much power he held. This is what happens when a person spends decades believing their influence is armor. The armor finally cracked. Here's what's coming down the pipeline. His legal team is preparing appeals. Prosecutors in LA are still reviewing evidence. More civil lawsuits may follow. Former insiders are reportedly speaking privately to investigators. And the public is still hungry for updates. This story is nowhere near over. And with every new investigation, every new interview, every new leak, the picture gets darker. T-Squad, this one is wild. And trust me, there's more coming. Every time a new document drops or a new witness comes forward, I'll be here breaking it all down for you. If you want the next update the second it happens, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe, and stay locked in with Dropping the Tea.